At first glance, it looks like a miniature leopard, but in reality, it's a creature that climbs trees better than any monkey and can hang upside down, gripping a branch with its hind legs. This is how the margay lives. A wildcat that's almost impossible to spot in the forests of the Amazon. It lives in the trees like a squirrel. It doesn't just climb, it performs acrobatics that no other animal can replicate. Its hind legs can rotate almost completely backward, allowing it to descend a tree head first, clinging on like a ninja. It's not afraid of heights because its body is like one big shock absorber. It attacks from above, swooping down from the canopy like a shadow. Catching it on video is almost impossible, as if it knows exactly where the camera is. Another one is the oncilla, small, with rounded ears and eyes that glow in the dark like light bulbs. But beneath that cuteness lies an absolute predator. It inhabits the tropical forests of Brazil and Colombia, hunting small rodents, birds, and lizards. It doesn't tolerate outsiders, not even its own kind. Its spots are blurred as if an artist painted on a wet canvas. It's the perfect camouflage for the rainforest. And the Andean cat is one of the rarest on the planet. Its fur is grayish-white with black spots, blending into the landscape so well that even an experienced biologist might not notice it from 10 steps away. It lives at altitudes of over 10,000 feet among icy winds and rocks. Its prey consists of high-altitude rodents, but in the culture of the Andean tribes, it is almost a deity. Killing it is considered a bad omen. Even modern poachers are afraid to mess with this phantom. All three cats are different, but they are united by one thing: absolute adaptation to their environment. They don't stand out, they don't rush into battle, but if you cross their path, you have almost no chance. And yet, there are those who are even more mysterious, those whom no one has ever seen. Their existence is almost a myth, but the facts speak for themselves. Phantoms of the jungle. Some wild cats exist as enigmas. You won't find them in zoos, you won't see them in BBC documentaries. Their photographs are like rare frames from Secret Service archives. And yet they are real. The clouded leopard is a creature that looks as if it stepped out of prehistoric illustrations. Its body is long and flexible like a snake's, its paws are enormous, and its fangs are disproportionately long. Its coat shimmers with gray and golden smoke, patterned like clouds. This cat is not just agile at climbing trees, it can move along them upside down like a bat. But the main thing is that almost no one has seen it in the wild. Even researchers with camera traps consider it a success if they capture a single shot in a year. The cat from the Andaman Islands is almost an urban legend. Locals call it the night gaze. It is described as dark, striped, with eyes that reflect even the slightest light. It isn't afraid of people, but always leaves before you notice it. Officially, it is barely recognized as a species. There is so little data. Scientists argue whether it even exists at all. But the tracks, scratches on trees, and flashes of eyes in the jungle speak for it. And finally, the feline phantom from South America. The only information about it comes from a museum taxidermy specimen made a century ago. It stands in an old hall without a name. Researchers don't know which species it belongs to. Perhaps it is an extinct relative of the margay, or maybe an entirely separate lost branch of wild evolution. It turns out that all these cats are on the verge of myth. But the next one will be even more unexpected. A 5-pound killer that hunts with the precision of a professional assassin. Pocket killers. If you see it in the wild, you might not even notice. It's about the size of a small pillow. But inside, it hides an instinct honed over millions of years. A small body, but the highest hunting success rate of any feline on the planet. The black-footed cat is a nocturnal hunter from southern Africa. Its fur is golden gray with dark rings on its legs. That's where it gets its name. It weighs less than the average house cat, but can cover several miles a night, hunting anything smaller than itself. In wildlife statistics, it's a champion. 9 successful attacks out of 10. Even tigers can't match that. It neither meows nor hisses. It simply appears and disappears. Fast, silent, deadly. The Pallas's cat, or manal, is a fluffy oddity. It looks like an offended ball of fur with short legs. But that's deceiving. Living in the mountains of Asia, it hunts marmots and rodents. Its eyes are set wider apart than those of other cats, and its ears are lower, so it blends in with the rocks. It doesn't run, it waits. It can spend hours motionless, merging with the landscape. Its strategy is not pursuit, but a sudden attack. Its weapon is patience. Both cats are small but deadly. No one takes them to circuses, they don't survive in captivity, they can't be trained, because inside they are pure predators. And this is strikingly similar to an ordinary house cat. Or is it not? A domestic predator. When you look at it, it seems like just a strange street cat. Only its ears are a bit too long, and its legs are like those of a runway model. But when it jumps, it becomes clear. This is no ordinary cat, this is a killer made for flight. The caracal is a symbol of grace and deadly precision. Its tufted ears are not just decoration, but a tool. With them, it catches the slightest movement in the grass. It can leap almost 10 feet straight up and snatch a bird right out of the air. In Africa, it is considered so agile that some peoples believe if you have the soul of a caracal, you will become the perfect hunter. Next to it is the serval, tall, slender, with golden fur covered in black spots. Its legs are almost like a dog's, all for one purpose, to hear and to jump. It can stand motionless for 20 minutes, then suddenly leap into the air and snatch its prey from a branch. Its ears are like radar dishes. It can hear a mouse underground. Sometimes people take these cats as exotic pets and make a big mistake because one day they wake up in a house where, instead of a kitten, a quiet, focused hunter is walking across the table who has no need for toys. It needs instinct. But even these are not the strangest ones, because in the forests of Asia, there is a species whose teeth look like those of a prehistoric beast. Clouded predators. If you were shown its skull, yes, you would think it was a saber-toothed tiger. If you saw it in a tree, you'd think it was a giant cat monkey. But this is not a fantasy. The clouded leopard is a true prehistoric predator stuck in our time. Its fangs are far too long for a modern animal, but it has learned to use them in such a way that it kills almost silently. It lives in the forests of Southeast Asia, where it is humid, dark, and there are almost no roads. It climbs better than any other cat. It can hang from a branch with just one paw, descend headfirst, and move through the treetops without making a sound. On islands like Sumatra and Borneo lives its sister, a bit smaller and even more elusive. Scientists still haven't decided, is it a separate species or a subspecies? But one thing is clear, it disappears from the frame faster than the camera can focus. These are cats that almost no one has seen, but they do exist. They kill silently, vanish without a trace, and look as if they've stepped out of a fantasy novel. And now, let's move to a place where everything is different. Where a wildcat lives on an island with no way to retreat. Island hunters. An island is nature's trap. There's no way to retreat, no outside help. It's just you and your survival strategy. Cats that found themselves in such conditions became something entirely different. And the Iriomote cat lives on a tiny Japanese island in the middle of the ocean. Its fur is dull as if covered in ash to blend in with the damp foliage and the shadows of the mangroves. People rarely encounter it. It isn't afraid, it's simply uninterested. This cat behaves like a spirit. It comes out to hunt at dusk, creeps along streams, and vanishes without a sound. Even dogs are afraid of it. There are others, yes. For example, the cats of the island of Borneo. One of them is a swamp cat with a narrow skull and eyes full of water's reflections. Its world is not the land, but the swamps. It can hunt crabs, dive for fish, and walk along riverbeds as if it were born amphibious. It is quiet because it knows. Every sound is a chance to be noticed, and being noticed means being killed. On islands, cats become different. They become silent, precise, independent. Here, it is not the largest who survives, but the most inconspicuous. But even more remarkable are the cats that not only tolerate water, but turn it into their own territory. Amphibians in the world of cats. How many times have you heard that cats don't like water? Forget it. Some wild cats are born to hunt in swamps, swim across rivers, and glide along the banks like otters. The fishing cat is muscular, broad-shouldered, with paws that resemble paddles. It lives by rivers and lakes, and when evening comes, it becomes the queen of the waters. Its method is simple. Silence, observation, a lightning-fast strike. It catches fish, turtles, even snakes without getting soaked to the bone. Its fur repels water. But there is another aquatic predator, a cat with an elongated muzzle and a flat head, almost ugly in appearance. But in the water, it's like a knife, cutting through the riverside thickets, slapping its paws on the surface, stirring up the mud, and surfacing with prey in its teeth. It makes no sound, is almost invisible, but in its world, no one feels safe. These cats have outplayed the instincts of their kind. They are not just an exception, they have evolved into clawed amphibians. But if you think that's rare, then take a look at the cats that survive in a world without any water at all. The deadly shadow of the desert, where there is no water, no shade, where everything is scorched by the sun and cut by the wind, cats live there too. Silent, secretive, as if made from sand. The sand cat, a beige spirit of the dunes. Its fur is pale like sun-scorched velvet. Its paws are covered with fur underneath so as not to burn on the hot sand and not to leave tracks. It does not seek out water. All its moisture comes from the bodies of its prey. Its ears are spread wide like radar dishes, able to hear even the rustling underground. It lives as if it doesn't exist, appearing only to kill. There are other solitary desert dwellers as well, slightly larger, a bit more striking, but no less deadly. Some of them are found in Central Asia, where rocks and steppes provide shelter. They are silent, live alone, and if they encounter another of their kind, it ends in a fight. Desert life does not tolerate extra mouths to feed. There is no place for the weak in the desert. Here it is not cunning but discipline that ensures survival. But there are cats who have no friends even in the forest. Only solitude and fury. Vengeful loners. Some cats choose solitude not because they can't live otherwise, but because they don't need anyone. They hunt alone, live alone, and fight alone. The African golden cat is one of the elusive in the world. It has hardly been studied because finding one is like striking gold. It prowls the forests of Central Africa like a ghost. Its hunt is silence and fury. Its prey are birds, monkeys, and sometimes small antelopes. And when it attacks, it's a shock. So fast, so precise. And in Southeast Asia, there is another forest cat spotted with the body of an acrobat. It can leap through trees, jump across gaps in the foliage, climb like a squirrel, and never gives itself away. It is called the illusion cat. It's like a mirage. It seems like you saw it and then it's gone. These solitary creatures are the pinnacle of predation. They have no pack, no family, no partners. Only the forest, only the hunt, only death. Wild tiger cubs. Not every striped cat is a tiger. But there are species whose stripes are so striking you can't help but tense up. They're smaller than tigers, but no less dangerous. There's one in particular. It looks like a house cat, but with tiger-like markings. It lives in Asia among tall grasses and bamboo thickets. Its stripes are like scars, blending with the shadows. It hunts rodents, birds, and lizards, but does so with a predatory intensity you wouldn't expect from a creature its size. In the jungle, you can also encounter small striped predators that at first glance look like the cubs of big cats. But these are independent, bold, and fierce hunters. They don't roar like tigers. They simply act quickly, ruthlessly. These cats are like echoes of something greater, shadows of tigers, yet in their silent attacks lies the same wild power. And yet, even they are outmatched in agility by those who live in the trees, fluffy acrobats. They don't walk on the ground, they live in the treetops, move along branches as if climbing ladders, attack from above, and vanish into the foliage. These cats are not just predators, they are acrobats made for three-dimensional combat. The marbled cat, the forest magician of Asia. Its body is as flexible as a vine, its tail is longer than its torso, and its spots look like ink strokes on its fur. It moves through the trees almost silently, can leap several feet forward and instantly twist around in midair. Its claws are like hooks, and it can climb not only upward, but also along horizontal branches, hanging from them by its belly. There is another forest cat with such a sense of balance that birds in the treetops don't have time to react. It attacks from above just like a sniper's strike. No one expects an attack from above, but that's its element. These cats are masters of three-dimensional combat. Their enemy is not the ground, their home is the air and the vines. And yet even they are not as rare as those on the brink of extinction. The last of their kind. Some wildcats are lone survivors in a world that no longer belongs to them. They are the last representatives of their lines with no one left to mate with. They live like fading embers. The Bagheera cat from India was once considered a subspecies, but is now recognized as a separate species. Its range has shrunk to just a few hundred square miles. Scientists debate how much longer it will survive. It is not adapted to cities and cannot live alongside humans. Every new forest that is cut down is a death sentence. Another, hidden in the jungles of South America, is living out its days in solitude. Its related species have disappeared. It is on its own, dying out slowly, without news, without posters, without zoos. These cats are living fossils? Their fate is literally decided in the shadows. But what happens to those who can no longer be saved? Extinguished stars. You won't hear about them in the news anymore. They disappeared quietly, without loud statements, without international campaigns. They simply ceased to exist. There was a cat that lived in the tropics last seen in the 19th century. Scientists still argue whether it was a separate species or just a subspecies. But one thing is clear, it no longer exists. Only a few skins remain in museums. Another one disappeared quite recently. Its numbers had been declining for decades, but no one cared. There were no rescue funds, no big names. It simply vanished without a trace. Extinguished cats are a warning. Today you don't notice it, tomorrow it will already be gone. Their silence is louder than any protest. And yet, some of them still have a chance. On the edge, some species are teetering. One fire, one round of logging, 1 year of drought, and they will disappear. But for now, they are still alive. The Bali wildcat. Its range is shrinking while the population density on the island is increasing. It lives between villages, among palms and bushes, but it is being seen less and less often. Every year without offspring is a step toward extinction. Another species in the mountains of India is under constant pressure from poachers. Their skins are valued and their habitat is shrinking. Scientists have placed it on the list of species at high risk of extinction. Its rescue is a matter of just a few years. After that, it will be too late. They are still with us for now, but every day is like a countdown. And the question is not whether they will disappear, but who will be the last to see them. The power of the unseen. After everything we've discussed, it becomes clear. The true strength of wild cats lies not in their size, not in their roar, not in their fangs, but in how well they can remain unseen. They live in snow, in jungles, in sand, in swamps, and on islands. Some leap through the branches like cheetahs across the ground, while others vanish underwater. Some are the size of a shoe, others as big as a German shepherd. But they all share one thing, an absolute unity with nature. They are not symbols, not memes, not exotic curiosities. They are pure wild evolution. And each of these 40 cats has its own role, its own territory, its own life. Some of them are still unstudied, others already forgotten, but each one of them deserves to be known. And now you know.